Okay, so I'm one of those people that is like, you got to keep positive people around you, people that lift us and people that encourage us and just keep us to be the best that we can be. Lately, oh man, it's been pretty hard for me. I'm in a situation right now where, it's just, I don't know really what's going to happen. That's just the truth. The truth is that I don't know, but God knows. So all I can do is pray and ask for his guidance, and he's going to tell me the answers. Today I went to church, and after that I went to adoration, and adoration is packed at St. Matthew's right now. It's 7 o'clock, and it's just, there's a lot of people in there crying and just needing guidance. So I walked out and came outside, and I wanted to share something. It's Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17 tells us that it's better a dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. That means that if you are in a situation where, there's a lot going on there's a lot of feasting, there's a lot of abundance, but everybody is just arguing and there's just a lot of disagreement and it's miserable, then no, that's not the way. It's better a dry crust with peace and quiet. A wise servant will rule over a disgraceful son and will share the inheritance as one of the brothers. I guess pretty much what that's saying is that you will receive the same graces if you are, not disgraceful. And you are not, the disgraceful son is not going to be, he's not going to be thankful. He's going to be a disgrace to the family. Even if it's a servant, even if you feel like you're nobody, some people consider themselves the black sheep of the family because they don't really go with the flow of everything. But they're the ones that are usually very loyal, who are going to stand by you. And, they might be the black sheep because they don't follow the crowd, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the ones that are wrong. It says here, the crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the heart. That's crazy because we are getting tested. We are getting tested every day if we're gonna make the right choices or not. That's up to us. We can say that that we are Christians and we're gonna follow God's word and we're gonna follow his laws and stuff, but when he tests our heart, are we really going to do that? Or are we going to be the type that is just, going to run the other way, look the other way, and ignore things? A wicked man listens to evil lips. A liar pays attention to a malicious tongue. That is so true when you think of birds of a feather flock together. I'm serious. People that love to gossip and lie will hang around other people that like to gossip and lie. So usually that's my first clue. I mean, everybody likes to hear stories and wants to know what's going on with people. That's great. But when somebody is actually gossiping about somebody, guess what? They're going to gossip about you too. He who mocks the poor shows contempt for their maker. If you mock the poor, basically what you're saying is their maker is worthless. So you should think about that before you mock anybody. Whoever gloats over disaster will not go unpunished. So there are some people who, they're just like, oh my gosh, they are just getting it now. They're getting to what they should have gotten and they're getting what they deserve. And they're really gloating over other people's misery. That is terrible because you are going to go unpunished if you are gloating and you are happy over any destruction at all. Children's children are a crown to the aged. That is so true if you think about it. The other day, I was really going through a lot, and I had been crying for 3 days straight, and I was just miserable. And my kids are not used to seeing me miserable. They're used to seeing me very positive and cheerful. So, it really was kind of shocking to them. My oldest daughter has seen me, go through a little bit of sadness. I've had that before, but the younger ones, hadn't really seen that yet. My oldest daughter, she goes out into the world and she's like a mini me. She's very positive. She does have a hard time with anxiety, just like I do. We all have different, issues, whether they're mental issues or they're just, anxiety, depression. Life is hard. But she remains positive and she loves God and she tries to follow His word. And she is a testament to everything that I've taught her, really. I mean, she's a good person and she gives and she cares and she's a good friend and she's loyal and she's very smart. She's extremely smart. So when I look at her, I'm so proud. I'm proud because that's my treasure. And I do feel like a queen when I see her out there in the world and I hear about her and I hear what people say about her. I feel like, I am being crowned. I am the queen. That is my little girl living out there in the world. So it is very true. Children are a crown to the aged. That's when we feel like, we can really show something that we left behind, our legacy. Parents are the pride of their children. We would hope so. We would hope that when our kids get older, and just like me now, when I look at my parents and I think about like my dad and my mom, and I think how proud I am of the things that they've taught me, whether it's being loyal and honest and just being a good person. My mom would take me to church and my dad would teach me how to be loyal and honest and why I needed to be that kind of woman. Well, I'm proud of my parents for that. So, they can be proud of themselves and know that me as their daughter, they can have pride for that. Arrogant lips are unsuited to a fool. How much worse lying lips to a ruler. Arrogance, nope. If you think about that, somebody who is a ruler is supposed to know what to do and they're supposed to make the right decisions. How can they make the right decisions if they're being lied to and they don't really know what the real true grounds are? You have to make decisions on the truth, and you can't make those decisions if you don't know the truth. And everybody's truth tends to differ. I always argue, this is your truth or this is my truth. And then some people will say, well, there is a truth, God's truth. Very true, God's truth. All we can do is pray and just try to hear what God's truth is. A bribe is a charm to the one who gives it. Wherever he turns, he succeeds. He who covers over an offense promotes love. That is so true. True love is when we look over offenses. When somebody does us wrong and we are able to just forgive and forget. It's hard to forget, believe me. But you can't just say, I forgive you, and then you hold it over their head, because that's not true forgiveness. Now, I don't tend to say, I forgive you, until I'm able to forget, which is probably never. So I don't think I'm very forgiving. But I try. I really do try. I try because I am not a perfect person and I make mistakes a lot, so. But whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. I think this is very true when it comes to somebody who keeps something alive. For instance, if there's an offense that happened that somebody did and somebody else is trying to keep that offense alive by bringing fear into your life or telling you, do not trust that person, you need to get rid of that person, you need to run from that person because of their own fears, that's not good. Because it says here, it separates close friends. It separates friendship. It separates love, understanding. We don't want that. We want to have love, understanding, and friendship. We don't want to be separate from that. A rebuke impresses a man of discernment more than 100 lashes a fool. I think what this is saying is rebuking impresses a man of good judgment, because somebody is going to be impressed by good judgment if they want to know what's right and they want to do what's right. Okay? That is the only reason that they want to know what's right, is because they want to do what's right. Therefore, they're going to have better judgment than a fool. A fool is going to love shortcomings and sin, and that's what they're going to concentrate on, the shortcomings and the sin. An evil man is bent only on rebellion. A merciless official will be sent against him. Yeah, some people just like war. They just like drama and hate. This one's very interesting, this next little saying. It says, better to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool in his folly. That is so smart, because if you're going to meet a bear robbed of her cubs, she has a reason to rightfully be upset. Think about it. Somebody robbed her of her cubs. But what I was saying about the bear cubs is that if a mother loses her cubs, she is very wise to be upset. Think about that. She has a right to be upset. However, a fool in his folly, fools, it's like a nonsense, you know. They're just like upset about everything and nothing. You know, it's just nonsense. So it is better to meet somebody who is rightfully upset than to meet somebody who's upset over nonsense, because what are they going to teach us? Nothing, right? And they won't even really understand. Also, it says here, if a man pays back evil for good, evil will never leave his house. Starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam. So drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. You know what that means? That means that if you hear quarreling, you should try to stop it. Don't continue and don't egg it on. A lot of people love to egg on drama and karma and just like to put those daggers in. Don't do it. Acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent, the Lord detests them both. Okay, this one's really, really good. Of what use is money in the hand of a fool, since he has no desire to get wisdom? So basically, what good is money in the hand of a fool if he isn't going to do anything good with the money? It's kind of like somebody winning the lottery and then just blowing it on nothing. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. I think that's really interesting, because a lot of siblings are like, they've always been competitive with each other, you know, and it's always like, you know, who does things better, who does whatever, who mom, dad loves them more, whatever. But when you call somebody your brother and you accept them as your brother or your sister, I think it's very, very important that we try to be friends with them as much as we can. It's really hard because we don't pick our brothers and sisters like we do our friends. Our friends, we keep them around because, you know, we understand them, they understand us. There's a certain way about us that's very similar. Brothers is, you know, it's kind of hard, you know. Sometimes we have to try to be friends with our brother and our sister. But remember, we should love our brother and sister at all times, no matter what. Okay? A man lacking in judgment strikes hands in pledge and puts up security for his neighbor. He who loves a quarrel loves sin. One thing that I was really realizing is that a lot of us build walls. I know I do, to protect myself against people. And if we build walls, what we're basically saying is that there is going to be an end to the relationship. It is not indestructible, because we are building walls. So what kind of faith is that? What kind of faith are we having if we're doing it that way? So if we build a high gate, basically we're inviting destruction. He who builds a high gate invites destruction. That says it right here in the Bible. A man of perverse heart does not prosper. He whose tongue is deceitful falls into trouble. To have a fool for a son brings grief. There is no joy for the father of a fool. I love this one. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. A wicked man accepts a bribe in secret to pervert the course of justice. A discerning man keeps wisdom in view, but a fool's eyes wander to the ends of the earth. A foolish son brings grief to his father and bitterness to the one who bore him. It is not good to punish an innocent man or to flog officials for their integrity. A man of knowledge uses words with restraint, and a man of understanding is even-tempered. Even a fool is thought wise if he keeps silent, and discerning if he holds his tongue. That is Proverbs 17. That is so important. It has so much instruction about life, and it has so much direction. I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you understand it. And if not, go get your Bible and just study it and try to live that way. Okay? Happy Sunday, guys. Love y'all.